All right, so in this video, I'm going to go over exactly how you can set up a automated email sequence in your GoHighLevel to send daily emails or however long you want to put in between each email, while also not just wasting the email if it wasn't opened. Exactly how to make it, instead of sending the next email, send a B variation, a second variation of the email that they just missed, so that you're not just speeding through the, let's say, 20 days or however long the daily emails go on for without even getting the most out of every single email. On top of showing you exactly how to create a email system like this, which is what I just described, I'm also going to show you exactly how to set up a retargeting system to just make the most out of every click that you get onto your offer to push people back onto the offer and not just get them onto the offer once and then send them the exact same emails that everyone else is getting that have never even clicked on your offer before. They don't even know anything about your offer, about how to set up a sequence that looks exactly like this. So I'm in my own GoHighLevel here. This is mostly just for demo things, so there's nothing published over here, but here's exactly how you make it from scratch. So you want to go over to the automations tab on your GoHighLevel, and you just want to create a workflow, start from scratch. Now, what you want to do, so first name this because you'll never know what this is. Let's say this is the email workflow. So the trigger should be whatever the trigger is for you. So if you have a video sales letter, for example, or a lead magnet hosted on GoHighLevel, you want to make the trigger here form submitted, and you simply want to add a filter, form is, and then select the exact form that it is on your GoHighLevel page, and then that will set up for just example purposes. I'm just gonna save it as no, just like any form. But then other than that, the other things I find myself using is if there was a contact created, for example, or a contact tag. So how this works is, for example, on a school community, how you would be adding people onto GoHighLevel is adding them through Lead Connector as a lead on there through Zapier. And then you would add a tag to them, say they came from school community or whatever, and then you make the trigger here as the tag added as came from school, for example. And then you want to start with a email, basically. You want to start with, let me just put this here. So if you do not, if what you're running it to is to a lead magnet, for example, then what you want to do is first wait 5 hours, or wait 2 to 5 hours. 5 would be the longest. So we're going to wait, let's say 3 hours. And the first email that we want to put here will be right here. So at the very end, will explain exactly what to put in these emails. But for now, we're going to show how to actually set up the automation, and then I'll show that. So yeah, you want to put as wait email, and then I highly recommend putting like wait how long in the little name here. And then after that, we're gonna wait again, and we could change this to whatever time you want. Let's say wait 1 day. Let's wait a day. So this would be for daily emails, and then you're gonna have another email to say these are the ones that you don't want to send multiple times. So you're gonna have a few emails like this. Now, once you get to the point where the emails aren't about the lead magnet that they just came from, but they're the daily emails that would be simulating a broadcast feeling, the weight that you want to put will not be the usual weight. It won't be just something like this. Instead, we're going to wait for an email event. So it'll be called email event here. And we're going to pick the step to wait on. So I named them both the same. I highly recommend you change whatever name. And the email event we want to do is if they opened it. And now you could save the action, it'll just wait until they open it. That's how you would wait until they open it, and then like only once they open it, move on. But that will not work if they just simply never open it. So we're gonna time out at 1 day. And now we're gonna, I'm just gonna type it in the name here. Now this will time out at 1 day. So if they don't open it after 1 day, then it'll just move on anyways. Now we're going to put an if else. So this is how we're setting up it to send them a B variation of the email instead of just wasting the email once they don't open it the initial time. So for this, let's say the name will be opened, and we'll say this branch is yes. So how we make it so that We split the workflow in two separate ways for if they opened it or if they did not. We're going to put it here as events, email event is opened. And they're just going to save the action because there'll be a none one where it's like if they didn't open it. If they did open it, then we're going to continue with the usual, with like the wait. If they did open it, then we're going to wait for one day after they opened it. So I'll just type this in here. And then we're going to go on to the next email. I'll just keep that as just saying email, put something in the subject line if you're just trying to save it for now. And then if they did not open it, then we're going to not put any wait. We're going to send an email. And this email will be just like this one right here that they did not open, but it'll be the B variation. So it'll be sending from, of course, same name, same email. The things that you want to change here are the subject line and the first two sentences of the email. That's the only thing you need to change. That way, once they don't open this one and then there's a day passes by and they still haven't opened it, then they're sent a B variation of that exact email. Now, the reason we changed the subject line and the first couple sentences are because that's the only parts that they would have seen if they did not open it, which is the case. So those would be the parts that would make them want to open it if it was something slightly different. Next, we're going to click Go To, and we're going to save action and go to the wait one day. So how this works now is let's name this email A. And so they're going to receive email A. Now we're going to wait until they either open it or one day passes. If they open it, then we're going to wait another day and go on to the next email, keep continuing. If they didn't open it, then we're going to send them a B variation of the email that they didn't open so that we're making the most out of that and not just moving them through the however many day sequence it is without them even opening the email. And then we're going to go to right here. Next, after this, really, you can just click copy. I know I didn't even know this was a feature for a long time, but if you right click, if you click the dots here and click copy all actions from here, we just click copy, and now it's the exact same thing there. The only thing that we'll need to change is the go to. We're going to need to remove that path and change it to right there. Now you're basically done. I'm going to actually delete this. The only thing you need to do now is just keep copying where you start at the email, and then keep pasting it right there. Every time you'll see that the go-tos do not fix themselves, so we're going to need to remove the path and add them back to the day, so it should look like this. And then once you're happy with how many days you got it going on for, then at the very end, we're going to do something about adding a tag to them. So we're going to add a contact tag, and the tag we want to do is, you see I have a bunch of tags here. We want to say they finished, just as an example, finished welcome sequence. This could be applicable for whatever sequence it is, but this is most likely a welcome sequence that you're sending. So we're going to add the tag finish welcome sequence, and then that means now when we go to send an email broadcast, we're going to send to only the people who have the tag finished welcome sequence. That way we're not sending emails that shouldn't be sent and when they're in a sequence like this. Now, we're going to come back to this soon, but first I'm going to go over the retargeting now. So how this works is whenever they click, you'll see there's a few trigger link triggers. We're going to remove the tag that says finished welcome sequence temporarily. That's in case they've already finished it and they're coming from our broadcast. And then we're going to remove from all workflows in case they came from the welcome sequence here. And then we're going to question, did they already get part one of this? If they did not, then we're going to send them part one. And then if they did already get it, then we're going to see, did they already get part two? If they didn't already get part two, we're going to send them part two. And very similar for that for the other ones. And then, of course, you don't need this many parts. Normally, I find myself only using about 1 to 2, because after that, you don't get many results with the time that it takes you to create these emails. So for the time being, I'm going to show it as deleting an action like this. And then, of course, you just copy it very similar to how I showed with this one here. Very similar principle. So let's create a new workflow. We're going to say start from scratch. And then let's call this one, okay, sure. Let's call this one the retarget. So for the trigger of this, we're going to make it a trigger link. Now I'll show you how to set this up right now. So for now, I'm not going to add in filters, but what you would do is just like select trigger link and which click you want, which trigger or which link should trigger it. And how you make the trigger links is right here in marketing, and then trigger links. So you want to go over to links, and you'll see your trigger links here. And then we're going to click add link. You're going to add link name and add link URL. And then what you're going to do is in the workflow that we just created, every time you pitch your offer, instead of just pasting in the link, instead of like pasting in a link like this, what you would do is you write the text you want to put. So say like click here, or whatever copy you want to put. And you want to have it as, you want to search here, or not search here. You want to highlight it, and you want to go to trigger links. And now you just want to click on whatever link it is. Let's say that it's an incentive. I actually did that wrong because you actually want to go over there. So you want to first, so what I just did is I just copied it. So I'm actually going to paste it here by clicking this. I'm going to Control X to copy and delete it. And then I will highlight this, add link, and I'm going to add the link as this variable here. And we're going to action, let's say new window. Okay, cool. Now that what we'll do is I'll send them to the exact link, but I'll also set it as a trigger for this next automation that we will be making. So for the retargeting, it's very simple. You want to have it, let me just reference this. So first you're going to remove the tag. Let's say remove contact tag. So this could be they removed finish welcome just for the time being, like so that we don't send broadcasts there, or you could have as a completely separate tag that says something like send broadcasts here. And then we're going to remove from all workflows. We're not going to include the current one because if we include that, then the rest won't happen. So we're going to remove from all workflows, and then we're going to question if did they already get the first part. But actually you can't do that yet because you haven't created the tag yet. So what you can do is you go over to tag, and then you could just create the tags for now. So I say completed retargeting 1, and we're going to add that as a tag. Now it's created, but we don't even need to use it here. And now we're going to say completed retargeting 2. Now we're going to add that tag. So that all that did was create the tags. It's probably the easiest way to do it here. Now we're going to add the if else. We're going to say received part 1, and then if the answer is yes, then their contact tags, contact details should be tags down here. Tags includes the completed retargeting part 1. Yes. And if they did receive it, then we're going to say, did they receive part 2? So now received part 2. And then yes, yes here. And then we're going to say contact details. And then we're going to say the tags includes both 1 and 2. Because they should have already completed 1. And then if the answer is none to both of these, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for, let's say, if they just clicked on it, let's wait 30 minutes, let's say, for just a reminder. Wait 30 minutes. And then we're going to send them email. Say email 1. I'll just put something in the subject line for now. And then we're going to wait let's say 1 day, however long you want to wait. And then we'll send them another email. Let's just copy this action here. And we're going to say this is email 2. And then we're going to add them to workflow. Add to workflow. Now what this will do is we'll send them back to the workflow that we just created as the welcome sequence. So we're going to say, here you go. Let's say email workflow that's the one we just created. It would be whatever name you created for that. And then very similarly, we're just going to copy all the actions here, and then you're going to copy it to for part 2. And then the answer is yes. If they did receive through all these already, then we're just the same here. We're going to add them directly to the workflow. Cool. Now that we have that saved, what it's going to do is it's going to add them back to the welcome workflow every time they complete there. So now every single person who goes through here will be added back to this workflow. But if you just leave it here, then they'll all be starting from the beginning, and they've already received these emails and they're not even applicable to where they're at in the funnel. So instead, we're going to add a tag every time. Let's start here. Then we're going to add a tag every time they get sent an offer email. So we're going to say every time. So let's pretend this is an email where we have the offer. So we're going to say email offer just as an example. Every time we have this, we're going to add tag. I'm just going to add contact tag. And we're going to create a tag that says sent welcome part 1, for example. And we're going to save that action. And now we're going to say, we'll just put it as set here, sent welcome part 1. And now, once we know that they were sent welcome part 1, we're going to create an if else over here. Now, if they came from, let's say, where did they come from? And we're going to say, so here they came from the retargeting, or no, they came from, or they just were sent welcome part 1. Then the contact details tags will include that they came from, let's say, completed welcome part 1. Now what that means is so we're going to move all this to the none, by the way, move all actions to none. And then once we know they came from part 1, we're going to add a go to and make them go to right where they left off. So here, we left them off on right here, and it looks like they clicked the offer from this email. So now we're going to add them to right after this at whatever is the next step. So for here, I put this as the like the end step. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy all actions from here and just pretend like that's there. And so now you see that once they go through, let me just set this up so it looks good. Once they go through once they get sent this email, and then they click on the offer here, then they're taken out of this sequence by this here, and then they're added here. They're sent these emails, and then they're added back here. Now, what this would do if we didn't have this is it would just send them the exact same emails again. But since we have this, now we're able to get them to go to exactly where they left off, right here, wherever this is linked to. So that's about everything on how to set up there. If you have multiple times when you offer whatever you're offering in the emails, then you set this up multiple times where you have multiple branches, where the next one will say like welcome part 2, and then you have the tag as completed welcome part 2 after you add a separate tag to after they received a separate email. Now, what you also want to do if you have multiple, so for example, I'll put this one as sent welcome part 2, just for the sake of showing how this works. Let's say this one was part 2. Now, if we had a part 2, then we want to make sure that for the first one, the contact details tags here, the tags do not include part 2. Let's go for part 2. So this means that they were only sent part 1 and not sent part 2. And next we're going to say welcome part 2. And now here, we're going to say that the contact details tags includes the completed welcome part 2. Yeah, that should be it. And then it should include that. And then if you have a third one, then you'll have to do very similar to this. Does not include part 3. And then for this third one, we're going to add a go to. Pick them off or drop them off right where they left us. Right here. So we would add them to the next part, which would be right here. And yeah, then that's about it. Also realize that you don't need to wait before you add the tags, but that's about all I wanted to go over on the GoHighLevel side of things. So now that you have all of this set up in your GoHighLevel to convert the maximum amount of leads coming through here to either booking a call or purchasing whatever you have to offer, now the only thing that you're missing is the actual email copy and exact types of emails that you need in these little email slots. So if you want to check out that, I actually just made an entire video about that. You can tell I just made it because I'll be wearing the same shirt, which you can check out in the top left on the screen right here. So yeah, check that out. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel and you'll see more videos like this, and especially more videos like the one you'll see in the top left right now about the exact copywriting you need and the exact email strategies, and more things about Calendly strategies to get more people from just booking a call to actually showing up to the call, more things like that. So I'll see you right there.